the Lone Ranger. Hi-yo, Silver! Away! A fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-yo, Silver, the Lone Ranger. With his fearless Indian friend Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early West. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again. Hi-yo, Silver! Away!
Oh, when the sun goes down and burns the tar up on the roof, and your shoes get so hot you wish your tired feet were fireproof. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby's where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk. In the park you hear the happy sound of the carousel. You can almost taste the hot dogs, French fries they sell. Under the boardwalk, down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby is where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, boardwalk.
Don't worry, you'll fight.
Under the boardwalk,
Video, it's just video.
The sun, under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above. Under the boardwalk, we'll be falling in love. Under the boardwalk, 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 down by the sea, yeah, on a blanket with my baby's where I'll be. Under the boardwalk, out of the sun, under the boardwalk, we'll be having some fun. Under the boardwalk, people walking above.
What's that?
Oh, are you starting now?
No, who are you?
Oh, I'm Gail Titsi Evian.
Okay. And tell us about Life After MA.
Life After MA. Well, actually, I only went there my freshman and my sophomore year.
Okay.
When we moved to Sunnyvale, and I graduated Fremont High School in Sunnyvale, class of '65, of course. After high school, I actually married my high school sweetheart, and ended up going to Germany for a year during the Vietnam era when people were being drafted. I was drafted to Germany. It was a wonderful experience. I had to live there. Came back and went to college locally, and then actually didn't get to finish college because I was helping put him through college. And so I went to work for Lockheed back in the day. I worked administrative assistant to the legal counsel at Lockheed, which was very interesting. And that, I went to work for another high-tech company, smaller high-tech company, and ended up working for the president of that company for 10 years. During that time, divorced, remarried, and I married my current husband. 38 years we've been married.
How many years?
38 years.
Nice. Very good.
And he was a real estate broker at the time, so he convinced me after 10 years of doing my
Yeah.
administrative assistance work to go into real estate. So I'm just hitting my 39th year in real estate. I went in before we got married. Local.
Residential real estate?
Residential real estate. So we're based in Saratoga, Los Gatos.
Okay.
So by geography, we've been in a very nice area.
Okay.
Watched the growth. We have a 34-year-old son and he has 2 children and 1 on the way.
Nice. Very good.
Local. And I have 3 stepchildren. So between all the kids, there's 8 grandchildren.
Are you keeping active? What do you do to keep active other than
Oh
real
my
estate?
goodness, we travel a lot. For 30 years we've had a second home at Discovery Bay up on the Sacramento Delta.
I know what
So we
that
do a
is.
lot of-
Lovely near Stockton.
A lot of, yes, we have a boat up there and we do a lot of family
The
activities.
Delta. Yeah.
It's really been very nice and it's so close. It's only an hour and 15 minutes. So,
Any contact with high school classmates?
you know, I haven't. I really have sort of lost contact with all of my MA mates, but I would, sorry, and I'm sorry I missed the big reunion, but
Well,
I had to make
55th.
a choice, but I'm going for 55.
Okay.
In
And then you knew
Tahoe.
some of the people we were talking about today, I guess.
I do, I recognize the names.
Bronwyn Collins, did you remember her at all?
No, I don't.
Okay. Who else did you hang out maybe?
I remember when you were mentioned Dan McGraw,
Yes.
Carol Becker,
Yes.
Candace Esplin,
Yes.
and a lot of those. I had a lot of my connections because I was in Job's Daughters during the time. A lot of the girls we were
Okay.
together, and I really should see more of them because we all work locally or live locally,
Okay.
but just haven't come across them.
You will. And you have a directory. And what's your husband's name again?
My husband's name is Tim
Tim.
Evian,
Evian? Yeah.
and he went to Woodside, class of '62.
Okay.
So maybe some people will know him.
So you didn't do any dating when you were in high school with him?
Nope. We
Just-
didn't meet until we were over 30. So
Well, we're glad you're here. Where are we here? We are at in Aptos, right?
we are in Aptos.
Lovely little rest.
Beautiful day in Aptos.
Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Have a seat.
The boardwalk down by the
I'm Joyce Hammond Rollins.
Okay.
I graduated from Menlo Atherton, and after that I went to College of San Mateo for a couple of years, and then to Long Beach State, and I graduated with a degree in sociology.
Okay.
Then I saved my money and went to Europe with a youth hostel card and a 2-month year rail pass. And it was over there that I met my husband, who was from New Hampshire. And so we got married and moved to New Hampshire. I lived there for 13 years. Both my boys were born in New Hampshire. And in 1985, we moved to the Auburn Grass Valley area. And I went back to school and became an elementary school teacher and taught between kindergarten and 3rd grade. And I retired a few years ago and moved to Santa Cruz about 4 years ago because my kids were pregnant. And now I help to take care of my 2 grandkids that live here that just turned 2 and
Nice.
just turned 4. And I really enjoy living in Santa Cruz.
It's wonderful. Now, at MA, I always remember you very, very well because you reminded me of Doris Day. You had that beautiful charm and all that. Who were some of your close friends?
Bonnie Anderton
Okay.
and Mary Jo Grisick were 2 of them, Patty Kavanaugh and Jill Kramer.
Yes, she's up in Boise.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got together. They stayed with me when they came out.
Okay.
Well, actually, we got a hotel in Palo Alto when we got reunion, and the 3 of us stayed together. So that was fun. And then they came back to Santa Cruz with me, and we went to Capitola and spent a couple
Nice. What a nice thing. And you organized this gathering today in Aptos. I want to thank you for that. That's a lot of work. I didn't think it was even possible.
I know, we're missing somebody.
Yeah.
Jim von Byberg, I think.
Yes. And Jim Lantis, Jim Leggett. Yeah, they're 2 friends.
Yeah.
And then also Tom Kennedy,
Yes.
Jackie Jennings Kennedy. Probably missed one or two others, I think. Oh, Bill Doolittle. He is in the Monterey area and had a very successful career, I guess, as a financial counselor. Had no contact trying to get home.
Yeah.
So,
Most people didn't respond really.
yeah.
But yeah, life is good here in Santa Cruz. I play tennis and I hike. I take care of my grandkids.
And you also cycle.
I cycle and I play marimba.
You do? For a band or what?
No, I take classes.
Okay.
And then we have about 4 performances a year.
Ah, do you have special Hawaiian dresses and stuff, or
No,
Mexican
it's
dresses?
actually music from Zimbabwe.
Oh,
And
is it?
It's a big wooden xylophone
Okay.
that you stand behind and you hit it with mallets. It's
Okay.
very joyful and very physical.
And who do you perform with?
Well, I go to a class and there are about 8 of us in the class, and the teacher has classes almost every
Okay.
night. And then we perform downtown Santa Cruz the day before Halloween. We dress in costumes. And then we have 2 potlucks a year where we just gather all the marimbas. One of them is in De La Vega Park, so all the marimbas are set up in the redwood trees. And people bring food and drinks and we just play. We play music. And then we have like a recital in the Dixie right in the
Sure.
cultural center. So anyway, it's a lot of fun.
Tell me, since graduation, are there any classmates you say, oh, I just wish I could find that person again and just say hello?
Yeah, Jill Kramer disappeared for a long time. I knew she had moved to Idaho, but I didn't have any contact information about her. And then out of the blue, I guess before the reunion a couple years ago, she called me. So I guess I've had my cell phone for quite a long time. So she called me out of the blue, and then we reconnected.
She's a very sweet lady.
Yeah, we were able to stay together and hang out for a few days together. And I still keep in contact with Mary Jo Grissett.
I don't know who, Mary who?
Mary Jo Grissett.
Oh, Grisak, yes. Yeah, up in Oregon.
Up
Yeah,
in Portland.
yeah, very nice lady.
Yeah, we just spent, she has a timeshare in Mazatlan, Mexico, and so she invited me.
Nice.
Just spent 2 weeks down there last month.
That's very nice.
Yeah, that was fun.
I hope to see Mary Jo in Portland.
Yeah, she's planning on it, she told me.
Sweet lady. I think on the Saturday at the reunion, we had lunch together. Weren't you with us at Jill Kramer's at Harry's Hofbrau?
Right.
Mary Jo was there and you were there with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
That
Well,
was nice.
you still remind me of Doris Day, and you always will. Thank you, Joyce. Okay.
Boardwalk down by the sea. Yeah.
My name is John Maxon.
Go ahead.
I attended Menlo Atherton and graduated in 1965 with all these fine people. They're also being interviewed.
Okay.
I then went to San Jose State, attended San Jose State College for 5 years, majoring in art. Painting was my concentration. After that, I was fortunate to be accepted into the graduate program at UC Davis, where I worked with some very prominent Bay Area artists, many of whom now are world-renowned painters and sculptors. Most notably, a name some people would know would be Wayne Thiebaud,
Right.
William Wiley, and Roy DeForest. Both of those, all 3 of those gentlemen were my mentors and looked in on me while I was in graduate school. Following graduate school, or while I was in graduate school, I got interested in studying meditation and understood that that would be something that I would continue on doing in my life. Came from UC Davis, moved down to, after a short stint in the Santa Rosa Occidental area, moved down to Santa Cruz area and was co-founder of the Mount Madonna Center for the Creative Arts and Sciences
Nice.
here in the mountains above Watsonville. It's now a meditation and retreat center where spiritually minded New Age type groups can come and stay at the lovely facility that overlooks the Monterey Bay.
And family or wife?
Family, not currently married.
Okay.
Probably have no plans at
Okay.
this point.
All right,
to
this stage of your life,
marry.
sure. Okay.
I've been married a number of times.
Okay. Any children?
I have two children. Both, they're my adopted children.
Okay.
My son is 24. My daughter is 26. Both have an interest in spiritual lifestyle
Okay.
to some degree.
Uh-huh.
My son is also a fine young painter, stylistically much different than myself.
Okay. Have you maintained a friendship with Sue Leffoltz Howe for many years, I understand? Have there been anybody else in the class that you've kept close to?
Probably out of our class, I've known Susan for years. We were in art school together.
Okay.
There was another gentleman, I'm not sure if he was in our class, may have been junior, Stephen Duran. Was,
Probably junior.
Probably a junior. He became a fine painter in his own right. I think he lives in Midwest.
Okay.
Currently. Susan and I have run into each other in the Santa Cruz art community over the years.
What brought you to Santa Cruz?
The founding this Mount Madonna Center.
And meditation center.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
a good area to do that in.
When you do your paintings, do you a particular time of the day that you are most productive or inspired, or do you just do it when you feel like it?
Well, it is a job for me. I support myself by being an artist. I probably will paint 4 to 5 days a week, probably 4 to 5 hours a day. It's pretty much a routine that you.
Okay.
It's not a question of inspiration as much as it is just getting in the studio and working on things, and sometimes they work and sometimes they don't. It's challenging in the sense that I don't always know what I want to paint. I might have a general idea, but as soon as you start to get into the process, it's enjoyable to me because you can, or one can, I can, get lost in the process and, in a sense, go deeper within myself.
Okay. When you paint, and I'm not a painter of any fashion, do you use a sketch pad, or what? How do you capture some of these images that you want to paint?
Because I'm somewhat of an abstract painter, I might have representations, photographs of things that I might have an interest in that I'll start bouncing off of and start to abstract.
Okay.
Primarily, I think most people view my work as strongly influenced by natural elements,
Sure.
but also bright, uplifting colors, I think.
Yeah, they're
What's
beautiful.
been told to me.
Mm-hmm. Now, is there any classmate you've been trying to get in touch with, you're wondering about, in elementary school or high school? You know, I wonder what happened to that person.
No, I don't think so. I think I know how to get in touch
Okay.
with people that I would like to get in touch with. You had mentioned Sue as being an old friend of mine, and also David Wing. He and I were strongly connected from probably 6th grade all the way through high school.
Very
And I
well.
have been in touch with him.
Good, yeah, you're a renowned photographer. Beautiful work.
Yeah, excellent. That's excellent.
Go ahead, John.
Also, I wanted to thank you for all the hard work, and I realize it is hard work to get the phone slammed out on you, but also just to put all the pieces together to
Well,
help connect people that would like to be connected and have some curiosity to.
well, and as we age, what really motivates me too, and I say our circle of friends and family is shrinking, and it's disconcerting. And this is a way of growing that, where we had a common experience, and that we're all in the same boat in the way that if we can connect, I think it'll make it easier in our years to come.
It certainly, I see it, and was curious as to whether or not, for many of us, it's just a way to understand the passing of life, as you're mentioning, but also to share it with what I would hope to be wonderment in terms of there is a bit of mystery involved with the fact that we can still feel that we are 17 or 18 or 30, and yet we understand that we have a limited time in this particular go-around, and what all that means for any of us. And
Well
this
said.
is another opportunity to
Well said, John, and it's true.
see that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, who are you?
Well, I used to be Susan Lefholtz, and then I became Susan Fuller. Then I became Susan Campagna, and now I'm Susan Howe.
Okay.
And Bill and I, my husband, have lived here in the Santa Cruz area for the last 30 years. We moved here from Mountain View. That was our last home. I had an advertising agency, graphic design company in Palo Alto for the 10 years prior to that. And when I met Bill, we had to decide where to live, and it was going to either be, for me, either Potrero Hill in San Francisco, which made it more of a city experience, or Santa Cruz, Monterey, where my oldest friend, Julie Erica, from Woodside High School,
Okay.
still lives. So, you might find this fun. We came over the hill, Bill and I, to look at places, and we went to Julie's house, which
Okay.
sits on top of a mountain above Lampico, and did some naked swimming. Bill decided he liked the area,
Okay.
so we bought a house here. And my husband is an engineer in the
Okay.
power industry, and he's been able to be the main breadwinner here and allow us to really live here without having to do much more than commute by plane for some things.
Okay.
And I started off doing graphic design when I first came here, and then moved back to my fine art pretty much full time.
Okay.
And I do all kinds of painting, but the last 20 years I've been spending a lot of time as a printmaker. I have an etching press,
Oh, wow.
and if any of you are artists, an etching press allows you to do a lot of different kinds of printmaking. If you're interested in looking at the work, you go to susanhowe.com,
Okay.
and that's Howe.
Okay.
Anyway, the only person here from high school that I really know and knew, other than Julie, who went to Woodside, is John Maxon, who's here today.
Another artist.
And I think he's going to be here on the interview.
He will.
Yep. And what can I say? We're very, very happy that we moved here.
Beautiful
we found
area.
an older house on top of a mountain. Well, sort of a mountain. and it allows for all kinds of gardening and my artwork. So I love to cook.
I hope we can see a little bit of it right afterward.
Yeah, I
We'll
hope
swing
so.
by your house?
I hope so.
Okay.
Oh, there were lots of things in between.
Okay.
What would you like to know?
Who did you hang out with at MA? Who were some of your close friends?
Well, when I first went to MA, I didn't know anybody.
Okay.
I had gone to St. Joseph's Elementary School, which was part of the Sacred Heart group for the 4 or 5 years before that in grade school. And I think there were actually ended up being 3 or 4 people that went to MA, but because they didn't come their freshman year, we lost touch. I think Ginger Felciano might have been one.
She's up in Oregon?
Yeah, and Tony Draga, who's no longer with us.
Yes, that's right.
But coincidentally, Tony's, one of Tony's many brothers, is a very dear friend of mine now. In fact, I've been doing landscape design work with him.
Okay.
John Draga.
All right.
And what else? Let's see. Ann Fablinger,
Yes.
Christine
Have you kept
Wallenstein.
okay, just
No, I
keep
haven't kept up with them.
Okay, well you're going to be able to now.
With your help,
Yeah.
I've touched bases anyway with Juliet Calabi, who actually graduated without us. She graduated early, half a
Okay.
year into her senior year, and she lives in.
La Tijeras.
Is that where she is now?
Yeah, she was in Santa Fe
Okay.
and then Albuquerque.
And Marcia LaPierre.
Yes.
In fact, if you're out there, Marcia, I was just recalling a nice trip we took to White Rock out in Carmel Valley when we were teenagers. And that was good times. Thank you and your family for that. Let's see, who else?
And she watches these videos very
Does she?
religiously, yes.
Let me think, who else would I think of? Penny Pickels, who I think is also passed.
Past, yes, photographer.
And let's see, who else? Oh, Marilee Schuchard.
In Atherton, she's
in
a
Atherton. She,
anesthesiologist over in Fremont, California,
That's right.
but she has not made any contact.
no, and it's I'm really some of
baffling.
my artwork is in the Kaiser Hospital over in Milpitas, and I've just been so busy this year that I haven't made it over to see the work where they put it in the hospital. But I thought
Okay.
that would be a good excuse to go try and find Marilee.
If you do, help
Yeah,
us.
I will. I'll work on it.
Yeah, she's in Atherton.
Yeah. Let me think. Those were some of the main people
Okay.
in high school. Anyway, Menlo Atherton had a great art department, and
Which
John-
teacher? Yeah, which one? You
Well, I had
best?
all of them. You know, Mr. McKinney,
Neil Bohr.
Neil Bohr, definitely. In fact, Neil Bohr was convinced that I should be the girlfriend of my first husband, Dan Fuller,
Really?
who was a year behind in he was
Football player.
Yeah, and he was a football player and a really great artist. And Neil was instrumental in that. And let's see, Thano Johnson was a ceramics teacher.
I remember him well.
And Dan was his best student, I think. So that was another connection.
Okay.
Oh gosh, MA was a good high school. I got a good education. It took a while before I had my own group of friends, but it wasn't because I was shy. I was just busy.
Preoccupied.
Anyway, yeah. So, anything else that you would want to know?
No, I'll tell you something off camera, but not in here. But anyway,
Okay.
thank you very much,
You're
Sue.
welcome.
Appreciate it.